All right, we are live. So we are going to start watching some of these awesome matches in the Eternal format. Let's go ahead and jump in on this game here. The fancy schmancy thing set up here. All right, we're already jumping in on something interesting, it looks like. Mysterious player saying he's going to do something wild. So here we go. Already we've got prizes taken right in front of us. Boom. And I have an upset kitty cat. Well, you're okay. A little bit of a glitch in my new layout. Sorry, guys. Let me fix that real quick. And that's game. So, didn't even get a chance to start commenting this game or commentating it. So, that is some exciting stuff. So, we've got basically what is effectively a dunk here already. So, unfortunately, Texter did not get a decent start that game. And Mysterious Players busted busted hands with the Togekiss did. So, we will go ahead and switch games here. Let's jump into let's go ahead and restart this. So top up we have a Phoenix. And on the bottom here, we've got Gil. All right. So we see a mirror here. This is Rapid Strike Urshifu versus Rapid Strike Urshifu. This could be something. We do see Brock's Ninetales on Kaleidoscope side, so we are going to see some shenanigans with Brock's Ninetales here. We see some staples of the format, Claydol and Lapras already down on Gil's side. So Claydol has a Pokemon power that says that you can put up to 2 cards from your hand onto the bottom of your deck and then draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. So think of this as an extremely powerful version of the Barrel from Brilliant Stars. Also, we see the Lapras. Lapras has a support navigation Poké Power that is very reminiscent of a certain Luminion V right now. The difference is, of course, Lapras is a single prize Pokemon and it's level ball searchable. So you get a pretty big boost to what you want there. All right, we do see 4 Sealstone on the Urshifu V and the Luxury Ball, another staple of the format, coming down. Looks like that's grabbing that Urshifu V Max. Urshifu V Max going down on to the V to evolve it. Let's see the fully powered up Urshifu V Max going to the active spot. All right, that's going to be a double KO, most likely on the on the Vulpix and on the Manaphy. So Gil is going to take 2 prize cards there. The research come down on Kalida Phoenix's side. Getting that fresh hand of 7 cards. Trying to figure out what move can be done after losing losing the support on that side. It's a bit of a rough go. Once you lose that support, you can kind of be sent hobbling. Silent Lab is a particularly nasty card in this matchup too, because it does shut off the majority of bench barrier effects, which makes it pretty rough to keep going. Kalida Phoenix saying that they're missing the energy once again. And we see the turn move to Gil. Gil getting that energy ready to go. Throwing that fighting energy onto the benched Urshifu V Max. See a warp point. Warp point is it's basically escape rope. It's a cooler escape rope. That's what it is. And we see a Melanie come down onto that benched Urshifu, allowing Gil to draw 3 cards. See a level ball come down probably for another Claydol. Yep, there's the other Claydol. Gonna take advantage of that Poké Power. That Poké Power is super strong. Still gotta be finding some. Nope, just gonna pass. I was thinking he might be trying to find some means of switching the Urshifu to make it so they could attack with the Gale Thrust, but nope. Not gonna even bother doing a double switch. All right, Kalida Phoenix working off that top deck, crossing their fingers to find something good here. Let's see what we got. We do see a Nest Ball. Nest Ball kind of risky if you're getting anything that's not got at least 130 HP at the moment. Making a tough choice about what to grab. Nestball is coming back in Scarlet and Violet base set, so if you are not familiar with Nestball has the effect of searching your deck for a basic Pokemon and putting it directly onto your bench. So unlike Quick Ball, the Pokemon never goes to your hand, it goes straight to the bench, meaning that any effects that you would get from on play, so like let's say Luminion V for example, they don't happen because it's not being played from your hand. Alright, so Cloud Phoenix is choosing to put down 3 Brock's full picks, hoping that one of them can survive the onslaught of this Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. We are seeing a Faba come down to get rid of that Stadium card. Good call there, trying to make it so that at least any future bench barriers might survive. We do see Gil's turn again, and do see the attachment to the benched Urshifu VMAX. I can only assume that the Floatstone Urshifu VMAX is going to be retreating. I imagine we're going to see 2 of these Vulpix go down. Or actually, he might just take the active spot, which... yeah, probably the active spot in one of the Vulpix. I do see the Azelf come down. Azelf, a very interesting card that has the Pokepower Time Walk. Once during your turn, when you put Azelf into your... when you put Azelf from your hand onto your bench, you may look at all of your face-down prize cards. If you do, you may choose one Pokemon you find there, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. Then choose one card from your hand and put it down as a face-down prize card. All right, we do see the Rapid Flow there. Going to take out that Urshifu and one of the Vulpix. Leaving Gil with just one prize card left. This is quite a shutout, unfortunately for Cloud Phoenix. We do see Path the Peak come down. Unfortunately, I don't really think it's going to do much. And we do see the attachment of Brock's Ninetales, or the evolution of Vox Ninetales, and the attachment of Delphox via that Pokepower. Pokepower, quite a unique one, not one we see very often, or anything like it in Standard anymore because of how complex it can be. But the Pokemon Power says Shapeshift. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may attach an evolution card from your hand to Brock's Ninetales. This does not count as evolving Brock's Ninetales. Treat Brock's Ninetales as if it were that Pokemon instead. It can't evolve, devolve, or use the Pokemon power of that Pokemon. During your turn, you may discard the evolution card attached to Brock's Ninetales. This power can't be used if Brock's Ninetales is asleep, confused, paralyzed, and if Brock's Ninetales becomes asleep, confused, or paralyzed, discard all of the evolution cards attached to it. So with that Delphox attached, Delphox does have an ability, which is not Pokemon power, that says once during your turn before your attack, you may draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. So you just can draw. We do see the computer search and the Verse Seeker. Verse Seeker, I believe, coming out of that computer search. Going to grab the Clara. Making sure our prize cards are sorted out correctly here. Gil be able to take one of his prize cards. No matter. We got it fixed. Alright, we do see a Manaphy and a Vileplume come off of that Clara. So I imagine we're seeing the Manaphy come down for that bench barrier effect. And unless there's another Ninetales, I don't... I don't see that coming down. And we do see Guzma come down from Gil, gusting up literally anything at this point. I don't think it really matters because that Gale Thrust is going to go and game. Yeah, so that is game for that particular match. Gil has taken the lead, taken the win there with the Urshifu VMAX. That was a bit of a mirror. Let's see here. What do we have another game going still? Let's take a look. We do. We have one more game going. Let's go and jump in on that one. And this is Eternatus versus, I think this is Jirachi Mill. Maybe. Pretty sure this is Jirachi Mill. This is an interesting little matchup here. Getting these player names swapped here. So that we have and see some live movement. Update these prizings. All right, Grayson's taken 2 prize cards. All right, so we are all caught up now. We do have, this is indeed Mill versus Eternatus. This could be quite something. All right, so we do see Detour. I do, yeah. So that's Detour. So Detour is copying the support card that was played that turn. So in this case, that's Team Rocket's Handiwork. Team Rocket's Handiwork says flip 2 coins for each heads, discard 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. So that was 1 heads, 1 tails. So that was a mill of 2 off of that. Alright, I fly discarding a battle VIP pass with the effect of Quick Ball, searching their deck for another Jirachi, getting another Detour Jirachi ready. I'm playing Trainer's Mail. Trainer's Mail, a very cool item card. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a trainer card you find there except for Trainer's Mail and put it into your hand, and then shuffle the rest back into your deck. Went ahead and found a level ball from the deck. Playing that level ball down, looks like. Searching for something, maybe a 3rd clay doll. Nope, choosing to fail the level ball. All right, attaching a float stone to that bench to support navigation Lapras, and using the first of the cosmic power, Poke Powers. We talked about that in the previous game there. That crazy strong effect where you put 2 cards from your hand onto the bottom of your deck and draw, so you have 6 cards in your hand. So definitely one of the stronger draw effects in the format, and very much a staple of the format. I fly choosing to use Detour. Detour, of course, copying that Team Rocket's handiwork. So a total of 2 cards milled from those 4 coin flips. Grayson here with just 11 cards left in their deck. iFly has 23. So the mill is happening, but it is not super quick. All right. Grayson choosing to Acerola up that active Pokemon and throw a Moltres into the active spot. iFly is saying he's gone 1 out of 4 3 times in a row. That is very unfortunate. All right, I think that's 3 energy attached to that Moltres. The arrangement of the cards is a little weird there. Yeah, we have 3. So you got the Special Darkness Energy and the regular Darkness Energy. All right, so if I taking advantage of Jirachi's Final Wish, Pokepower Final Wish says, once during your turn, if Jirachi would be knocked out by damage from an attack, you may search your deck for any one card and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck afterward. This is a very similar effect to that of the current Radiant Jirachi. And because of the effect of Life Dew, there is no price card taken on Grayson's side. So we do see Lana's fishing rod come down, bring Life Dew, shuffle Life Dew back into the deck. And then Green's Exploration is going to fish that back out. And then Trainer's Mail to grab Pow Hand Extension. Pow says move an energy card attached to the defending Pokemon to another of your opponent's Pokemon, or switch one of the opponent's bench Pokemon with the defending Pokemon. Your opponent chooses defending Pokemon switch. So this is some older wording trying to support the multi-Pokemon formats, but basically the idea is if you're behind on prize cards, you can move an energy card from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon, or you can force them, you can gust basically. So think of this as like a Counter Catcher and Anaporter on the same card. All right, we see the Darkrai come to the active spot here. All right, we do see Sky Pillar come down. Sky Pillar, one of those effects that could actually be relevant against Urshifu, although unfortunately Urshifu loves to play Silent Lab, which will bump Sky Pillar. Sky Pillar does have a bench barrier effect. It says prevent all effects of the opponent's attacks, including damage done to bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponents. So that will also block Sableye. So if you're worried about Sableye, you can throw down Sky Pillar and hope they don't have a stadium. I see the weakness guard energy rather come down onto that Darkrai. Probably trying to make it actually be able to retreat, but I do think this is going to time here. Unfortunately, the timer on the stream is a little bit behind because of the stream setup. So unfortunately, Dark Slumber is not a thing you can do. It's an on-play effect, so not going to help there. But we do have time, so time is being called right now. The timer will be correct for round 2. Unfortunately, not quite good enough for round 1 here. But time has been called. There are 0 minutes left in the time. I'm going to go and hide the timer actually, just to make that not there anymore. But yeah, so time has been called. The players have 0 plus 3 turns to resolve the match. And if there is no resolution, this will be a tie. Yes. So the players do get 3 turns here. All right, so just letting the players know how the time is going to work in this tournament. We do see the life do come down on that active Jirachi, so I do not think Grayson's going to be able to manage to take all the prize cards in the remaining time. Turn just doesn't really have any way of taking multiple knockouts at once, and there is no multi-prize Pokemon to knock out on iFly's side. We do see a Curse Shovel come down on that Jirachi, and then Trainer's Mail coming down. Trying to dig for something. Not quite sure what at the moment. All right. So we do see Field Blower, assuming we're getting rid of that Sky Pillar. We're just choosing not to play it. And it says, you know what, I don't even care. It doesn't matter. All right. So the Misfortune Sisters card was played. And then is going to hit the deck again. So looks like the card that iFly was after on that Trainer's Mail was a Versus Ticket to get back one of those mill cards. Misfortune Sisters this late in the game, really not as effective as it would want it to be. Only discarding just the one card from the deck. So it is now Grayson's turn. Grayson is turn 1 in time here. It looks like Grayson's going to go ahead and scoop. All right, so Grayson's scooping. iFly is taking the W out of this particular match. We'll go to round 2 here shortly. All right, time has begun. 30 minutes is on the clock. Restart the Something's happened. Dashboard. Oh, I see what happened. So it's going to resolve. So there's a, because of time, it's not right yet, but it will be on the tournament page here. So all right, so we are is fixed. All right, so we do have some games going up. Let's look at this fun one here. All right. So this is this can be brutal actually. This is going to be Alternatives VMAX versus Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. So unfortunately for Grayson here, there is a bit of weakness. Good thing is it does have access to that weakness card energy, but Urshifu is brutal. We do see Moonlight Stadium come down for Grayson. Grayson taking advantage of Moonlight Stadium. Moonlight Stadium says the retreat cost for each Psychic and Darkness Pokemon is 0. So all of the Darkness Pokemon on Eternatus' side will no longer have any sort of retreat cost, which is pretty great for maneuverability reasons. Grayson throwing down the Eternatus V and grabbing a Crobat V. Definitely needed to bump that path to the peak. Crobat V coming down, drawing Grayson a good 4 cards off the top of the deck. And we see Challenge. So Challenge is a trainer card from Rocket that says, ask your opponent if he or she accepts your challenge. If your opponent declines or both benches are full, draw 2 cards. If your opponent accepts, each of you searches their deck for any number of basic Pokemon cards and puts them face down onto your benches. A player can't do this if his or her bench is full. When both players have finished, shuffle your decks and turn those cards face up. So Grayson taking the more literal approach to the card, and Clyde Phoenix saying, you know what, it doesn't matter, I'm just throwing them down. So Clyde Phoenix just throwing down 3 Brock's Vulpix, Urshifu V, and I have to imagine a Baltoy, but we'll see. Right, Grayson throwing down an Eternatus V and a Moltres V. Specifically the Galarian Moltres V. And we see a Judge come down. Judge, not a card seen that often in this format, but it does exist. So both players are going to shuffle their hands into their decks and draw 4 cards. We see that Special Darkness Energy come down onto the bench, turns V there. So Special Darkness Energy, this is not a card we've seen in a while. I believe Heart Gold Silver was the last time we saw the special version of this Darkness Energy, as Darkness Energy is now a basic energy card. However, this card does coexist with the basic energy in this format. It says, If the Pokemon Darkness Energy is attached to attacks, the attack does 10 more damage to the active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. Ignore this effect if the attacking Pokemon is Psychic or has Dark in its name. Sorry, unless it, not if it has. So unless it's a Darkness type Pokemon or has Dark in its name, it's not going to get that 10 damage bonus. So Urshifu going to play down that Brock's Ninetales and attach the Octillery to it with Shapeshift. Shapeshift, that Pokemon power that allows it to immediately become a evolution Pokemon of any sort. So Octillery coming down and going to use that Rapid Strike Search off of Octillery. So while Ninetales does say that you don't get your Pokemon powers, you do get your abilities. So pretty strong effect. Alright, we see the Rapid Strike energy come down onto the active Urshifu. Sorry, the active Urshifu Max. And we're going to see a Gale Thrust for 60. Not quite enough to KO. Wait. Yes, for 30. There's no weakness there. One of the few Pokemon in that deck that does not have a fighting weakness. That and the Moltres. So yeah, it's gonna be just the 3 damage counters on that Zigzagoon. We see Eternatus V Max coming down and a Crobat. Oh. That is unfortunate. So unfortunately, you cannot Crobat under Path of the Peak, and Path of the Peak is in play. So there's going to be a double prize loss on Grayson's side there. All right, we're gonna get this fixed, unfortunately. All right, with that double prize loss, we'll go ahead and reflect that as prizes taken, although they have not actually been taken. My overlay does not have a way to deal with that just yet. There we go. All right, so to try to resolve this situation, Grayson's having to put his hand down into play, and then his opponent will choose 2 of the cards. It will go back into his hand, and the other 4 will go back into the deck shuffled. So unfortunately, not quite a perfect resolution, but it's as good as we can do given the situation. And the reason for the double prize penalty. All right. Getting this sorted out here. Now we are almost resolved here. Gonna give an extension for this one because it's to take a bit of a time. Let players know about All right, we just see the rapid strike starts from the artillery. We are back in gear. We're going to see some devastation here. I have to imagine we're going to see an energy come down onto that Urshifu at some point, although Gladphoenix's hand's pretty small. So maybe searching for a Karina's Focus. Try to draw some more cards. Basically just needs any sort of energy, and this deck is going to do some serious damage. Choosing to get a Rapid Strike Urshifu V Max. So maybe no Karina in the deck to grab. So getting that Buddy Catch Gallade on there. Replacing the Octillery. Choosing to grab a Research off of the Buddy Catch. And we see Rapid Strike Urshifu Max come down. With another Rapid Strike energy, so we are going to see a switch out and just a Gale Thrust for knockout on that Zigzagoon. So that poor Zigzagoon did not know what hit it. Turn is VMAX coming to the active spot. Very vulnerable Pokemon in this particular matchup. Kind of concerning. I don't know what sort of avenues Grayson has at this point to deal with Urshifu. Urshifu just going to dominate, I think. Thankfully, it doesn't do damage, doesn't do weakness damage to the bench, but gotta have to wonder if that's even going to matter. Unfortunately, Eternatus doesn't even have access to its Eternal Zone ability, which means it can't even have a full-sized bench to do a decent amount of damage against Urshifu. So this could, I think this is probably just kind of game over already, simply by virtue of this matchup. All right, we see the Gallade. So Gallade's being gusted up by Grayson, switching something into the active spot, so switching the Crobat into the active spot to pull the Gallade to the active spot with Guzma. And pass. So just trying to stall and hope that they can survive. I've got to say, with Buddy Catch Gallade in the active spot, or just in general in play, I don't think a stall is going to work. Because if Kaleidoscope's running Guzma, that Gallade will find it with Buddy Catch. So this probably will not stick. In fact, if anything, this makes that Eternatus even more vulnerable. So we do see Buddy Catch. Not immediately pulling out the Guzma is a bit interesting. Do have to wonder if it's in deck after all. Oh, there's the Guzma. Okay. Just took a second to find it. It's there. There's the Guzma. All right, so we are going to see a Gust, probably on the V on the bench, I have to imagine. Going after the VMAX after all. Not quite going to get the KO, I don't think. Only doing the 150 times 2, so 300. It's not quite enough to take the KO, but definitely going to hurt it. You know, taking the opportunity to attach a fighting energy to that benched VMAX, so that next turn just clean up the damage on that Eternatus, even if it retreats. Grayson kind of struggling for energy at the moment. Hasn't yet gotten an attack off. Hasn't taken any prize cards, unfortunately. Alright, Grayson's choosing to scoop to Kaleidoscope, or Phoenix, pardon. So that game is going to be over. We're going to switch out to another one. Alright. Let's go ahead and watch iFly and Texter. So this is Mill versus Lost Box. This is an eternal version of Lost Box. So we are going to see some interesting shenanigans here. And I get the board set back up for this particular matchup. They both have 6 prize cards left, so this could be very interesting. Texter does have access to that Kyogre, though, which could be extremely important in this particular matchup. Doing that 80 spread damage to everything could be very, very devastating. I feel like going after that detour. Texter already pretty low on cards in the deck there. We are going to see the Misfortune Sisters. Ooh, Mirage Gate going to the discard pile. A Floatstone going to the discard pile. Those are not cards you want to see as Texter going to that discard pile. You need that Mirage Gate to power up that Kyogre. Losing that is devastating. Alright, it is now Texter's turn. Texter attaching a Psychic Energy to that benched Kyogre. Kyogre is the amazing rare Kyogre from, I believe, from Shining Fates. Yeah. So that has that amazing surge attack. This attack does 80 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. So I don't know if you're aware, but most of the Pokemon on iFly's side are very squishy. In fact, all of them currently in play have 80 or less HP, which means that Amazing Surge can be a wipe if Texter can just get it off. And it does look like that's going to happen. Yeah, so that is a powered up Kyogre, and that Jirachi has for your treat. So with that, that's game. Kyogre comes to the active spot, does 80 damage to all of iFly's side, and wipes out the board, taking 5 prize cards at once. And because iFly has nothing left, that's just game. That is a bit of a vulnerability when you're running squishy Pokemon. Even though they can do cool things with Mill, they don't quite survive against bench or a massive wipeout like that. Kyogre very much coming in clutch for Texter there. All right. And we have this match. This one's almost done too. I'm going to just turn off the overlays for a second because, or the name overlays, because I don't think we're going to quite get them up before this game ends. But we will go and adjust the prize cards so we can kind of get a look at that. So we do have 3 prize cards to 1 prize card left here. All right. So on the top here, we have Mysterious Player with 3 prize cards left. And on the bottom, we have Gil with just 1 left. We got some regular old shenanigans here in the chat. All right. All right, we see Togekiss VMAX coming to that active spot. We're going to see a max glide for 120. Gil playing a level ball, playing down support navigation Lapras and Guzma-ing for the final prize card of the game. Just going to probably switch into one of those Claydol, retreat back out of it using Float Stone, and knock out whatever is on the bench. All those Pokemon have less than 150 HP, so any of them would be knocked out. So that is going to be the end of round 2. We are going to go ahead and move to round 3 here shortly. So we do have a bye this round. Grayson has chosen to drop from the tournament, not feeling confident in how to play this particular format. Probably returns maybe not the best pick for today. Unfortunately, the meta is very heavy in Urshifu's favor today. So we will see 2 games going on in round 3 here. This is the final round of JustInBasil Online League. This month, of course, we do have the Eternal format. That's why we're streaming it, because it's not standard. It's something a little bit different. Eternal format, if you're not familiar, is a base set onward format, very similar to Unlimited, except not as broken. There is a ban list for Eternal to try to make the format playable and not just a game of solitaire. So let's go ahead and get this set up here. We have iFly on the top, so I'm going to swap that out here. iFly is no longer on the bottom. This is iFly versus Gil, or Mill versus Urshifu. We see a discard of that Field Blower to use the Quick Ball. Quick Ball pulling another ball toy into play. Gotta get that Clay Doll ready to go. You absolutely want Clay Dolls in play if you can get them in play. If you feel like playing Eternal in real life, the Celebrations version of the Clay Doll that we see here is much cheaper than the version from Great Encounters and does exactly the same thing. So just grab the one from Celebrations. All right, on Gil's side, we do see Green's Exploration come down. Green's Exploration probably going to be finding some card to help them set up a Battle VIP Pass and a Battle VIP Pass, maybe? Just a Battle VIP Pass. So 2 trainer cards, just choosing to get the 1, maybe? I'm not sure what's going on here. Just playing out the 1 and then grabbing the other one. Not quite the right sequence, but... All right, Gil going after the other card, I think. So Green's Exploration does allow you to get 2 trainer cards from your deck, so long as you have no Pokemon in play with abilities. Currently, there are no Pokemon in play with abilities, so that is a perfectly valid effect. All right, choosing to grab Silent Lab. Silent Lab is a very strong card in this format. Shows off the abilities of basic Pokemon, including bench barrier effects like Mr. Mime, Mew, or Manaphy. Gil choosing to discard a Water Energy with that Quick Ball. Going after a Raikou V. Very interesting choice there. Perhaps just thinning it out of the deck. I flash in Raikou cooking. Yes, that is some serious cooking. All right, it is now iFly's turn. iFly drawing the top card of their deck. Immediately evolving one of those Baltoy into a Clay Doll. Again, Clay Doll, just an extremely powerful card in this format. Gonna go ahead and use that clay doll, moving a card from their hand to the bottom of their deck to drop to 6. I fly using that Misfortune Sisters to start pulling cards out of the opponent's deck. And immediately we see those top five revealed, and there are no cards to discard there. That's a thing. It happens, unfortunately. Misfortune Sisters is not exactly the strongest effect. I'm going to choose to use Detour and reuse that Misfortune Sisters effect for the effect of Detour. So the next 5 cards are going to pull something out. Forest Sealstone is going to be discarded off the effect, as is a Floatstone. So with the release of Scarlet and Violet base set, Misfortune Sisters actually gets worse because of the errata to all Pokemon Tool cards. Pokemon Tool cards are no longer going to be considered item cards as of Scarlet and Violet base set's release. So we did just see the Misfortune Sisters effect discard 2 tool cards. However, in just a month, a little over a month at this point, with the legality of Scarlet and Violet base set, that effect actually would have also missed, which would have been really devastating. Gil's playing down that Claydol. Gil's saying they need a little bit of time to think about what they're going to do next. Gotta weigh some decisions here. You can draw cards, or you can get what you need to spread some damage. You see the Floatstone come down on an active Claydol. Choosing to grab Urshifu V Max off that Evolution Incense. Shuffling up that deck. So still no energy in play yet, but you have to wonder if he's got one in hand. There it is. So we do see the Rapid Strike energy come down. We are going to see that Baltoy retreat, the Urshifu come to the active and knock out that Jirachi. You see a level ball come down. And we discarded. So we do see that Urshifu go to the active spot, take that prize card. We are going to see a boom here from that Urshifu. So Jirachi's Poké Power, again, Final Wish, very similar to Radiant Jirachi. Search your deck for a card when it's knocked out and put it into your hand. iFly choosing to put the Claydol in the actual spot with that float stone. Searching, I imagine, for another Jirachi. Probably pulled a Jirachi off of the Detour. Yeah, okay, off the Detour Jirachi. So did you see the Jirachi come down and a Life Dew? Life Dew going to prevent Gil from taking any prize cards off of that particular Jirachi while that's attached. So Gil is going to have to try to deal with that accordingly. We see Transparent Wall come down. Transparent Wall says, till the end of your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from attacks done to your benched Pokemon. A very, very good card to play, actually. That's amazing. Very good to see an actual counter to Urshifu. So Transparent Wall coming down, blocking the Urshifu bench damage. Unfortunately for Gil, you can't just slam down his Silent Labs and make it work. The Transparent Wall is still in effect. So he would need a Pokemon Ranger to clear that effect, and I don't think he runs it. We do see Echoing Horn come down, so it's going to confuse both active Pokemon. So both the Urshifu and the Claydol. Although Claydol is probably not going to matter. Yeah, it's not going to, because it's not going to be attacking. The Jirachi is going to be attacking. We are going to see a Detour most likely. Most likely. Let's see if that's the case. Do we see their Team Rocket's handiwork? No, we do not. So unfortunately for iFly, just don't have the supporter card necessary to use or to use for Detour. You can't copy a supporter that you didn't play in the turn. And if you didn't play a supporter in a turn, you have nothing to copy anyway. Jirachi just not going to be especially useful. But putting it up front anyway, just so the Life Dew prevents Gil from taking a prize card off of it. Gil choosing to play Time Walk Azelf. Azelf, of course, searching the prize cards for another Pokemon. Failing it. Using Windstorm. Windstorm going to blow away. I have to imagine that Life Dew and probably the Cursed Shovel. Yep. Exactly what I was suspecting. Life Dew and Cursed Shovel. So both those are going to go poof. With that Life Dew gone, the Jirachi is now vulnerable to actually having prize cards taken off of it. So that Urshifu can now do something, or at least one of the Urshifus can do something. We do see Computer Search discarding a Water Energy and another Urshifu V. I have to imagine for a Guzma. Probably Guzmaing up the Claydol to KO it after a retreat with the Claydol. Let's see here. So Gil is searching the deck for something. Going after a card, but we do not yet know what that card is. A Warp Point. Okay, so we're basically seeing an escape rope here. If you're familiar with escape rope, both players are forced to switch their active Pokemon. Still deciding it doesn't really matter what active Pokemon is. We do see Claydol's Pokepower put into effect. Gil draws 5 cards off of Cosmic Power. Again, an extremely powerful effect. Absolutely one worth having. Would love to see Cosmic Power in Standard again, but that effect is just, it's so nutty that even Genesect V feels balanced by comparison. Although, to be fair, Claydol is an evolution Pokemon, so it'd be nice to see some evolution Pokemon doing crazy things instead of basics for once. Alright, we do see a Gale Thrust. That Lapras is going to be KO'd. Gil goes down to 4 prize cards. Sky Pillar comes down from iFly. So we get another way to try to prevent Urshifu from just sweeping everything. Alright, we see Lana's Fishing Rod putting back a Jirachi and a Life Dew. Lana's Fishing Rod is an item card that recovers a Pokemon and a tool card from your discard pile and shuffles them back into your deck. We see Claydol again drawing 4 cards this time for iFly, and a Baltoy going down onto the bench. So Baltoy goes down, Quick Ball comes down, discarding a Green's Exploration. Choosing not to, actually. Going instead for a Level Ball and searching for a Claydol. I have extremely noisy neighbors. Playing that Trainer's Mail. Grabbing Misfortune Sisters. So again, not Rocket's handiwork, but it's something. It is some form of discard. Gil has fewer cards in deck, but not by much. We see a Professor's Letter discarded off of Gil's deck. And a Quick Ball as well. So both these are item cards. So just 2 cards discarded off the effect of Misfortune Sisters. I do think we're going to see a detour here shortly to copy that effect yet again. And there's the detour. So detour is indeed going to look at the top 5 cards once again and say, all right, are there any item cards here? If there are, let's discard them. Okay. Just a Level Ball, so only 1 more card off of that one. A little rough, but it is what it is. That is a Merciless Faba. That Sky Pillar going to the Lost Zone there. Gil says, no Sky Pillar for you. All right, we see another Rapid Strike energy come down on that Urshifu. Gonna go for the greedy attack and just take the double KO. If you really want to cripple him, I would say just go after the 2 Claydol. Yep, that's exactly what you do. So both Claydols are going to be taken down here. That's 2 prize cards for Gil. And a huge crippling knockout against iFly. iFly now going to struggle to find what they need because their draw is all gone. All right. Gil using the Claydol's effect, kind of rubbing it in iFly's face, saying, you know what? You didn't get to run it, but I'm running it. Do see a Lapras come down. Sport Navigation for Team Rocket's handiwork. You get a heads and a heads. Double heads on Team Rocket's handiwork. That is fun. So 4 cards milled off the top of Gil's deck there. And another 2 heads. Oh, ooh. Oh yeah, that is nasty. Okay, maybe things are gonna turn around after all. That's devastating. So that's gonna be a total of 8 cards milled off the top of Gil's deck there all at once. Super nasty. So Gil is gonna need to find Floatstone and a Melanie and a Rapid Strike Energy this turn, but they can find it. They got it. Let's see if we got it. There's a Guzma. That's one out there. There's an Energy. Unfortunately, not going to be a Melanie, so can't get the double KO this turn. But that is still a KO on the Baltoy, so Baltoy won't be able to evolve into a Claydol, just taking the last shot of iFly, getting any bit of consistency away from him. Hey Raymond, welcome to the stream. Alright, Gil going off that Claydol. Trying. So probably just going after one. Alright. So, yep. Getting the KO off of that Baltoy there. Going down to just one prize card remaining. If iFly has a Rockets admin, or not Rockets admin, an in. Well, I guess in a more traditional game, that would be the best thing to do, but it's not going to matter here. Alright, so we see a warp point come down. I have to imagine that Claydol's going for the active spot since it has that floatstone on it. Yep, there goes. So Claydol goes to the active spot with the floatstone. iFly switching into that Jirachi. You see Green's Exploration. And a Field Blower. So Field Blower to get rid of that floatstone and to cross their fingers to make sure that sticks. Alright, so getting a Field Blower and a Life Dew. Field Blower will get rid of that floatstone to prevent the Claydol from being able to leave the active spot easily. So there goes that. Life Dew does come down the Jirachi again to prevent any sort of knockout shenanigans there. Gil going, uh-oh, stinky. Not exactly fond of the effect of that particular situation. Gil says, whatever will I do? Well, you've got options. The Guzma will definitely do the trick, so let's see what we got. There it is. Versus Seeker for Guzma and game. Alright, so that is going to be the last prize card taken for that particular matchup. Gil does take the victory with Urshifu VMAX. Urshifu VMAX looking pretty different in the Eternal format, let me tell you. But it does do the job quite nicely. Alright. Do we have any games still going? Do not think so. Well, maybe we do. Nope, that was the last of the games. So that will be the wrap up. We'll get a result here shortly. I do believe Gil went 3-0, so that will be a victory. Alrighty. Alrighty. So we do have our standings. So Gil did indeed take first place. 3-0 with Rapid Strike Urshifu. And I'm going to go ahead and make public the deck lists real fast so that people can kind of get a little look-see at the lists. All right, so if you are on the Discord, you can see the deck lists by going and following the League at Home link from today. We do have try that again. So the deck lists are going to be public here shortly. If you're on the Discord, let's see here. Standing. Okay, so Gil in first place with Urshifu, Mysterious Player in second place with Togekiss, and Texter in third place with the Eternal version of Lost Box. It does not run Comfey. And in fourth place, we do have Jirachi Mill from iFly. So thanks to all those who participated. Prizing and participation codes will go out shortly if you participated in tonight's JustInBasil Online League. There'll be another live stream here shortly featuring the first impressions of Triplet Beat, the latest set in Japan that was revealed last night. If you want to get a little bit familiar with the cards before that stream starts, head up Poga Beach and review the article there. But for at least for a little bit, this stream is over. I'll see you in a little bit.